Hi, good evening and welcome everyone. We are so excited to have you here at the Better Ballot Iowa statewide meeting for September. My name is Amy Brown. I'm from Crescent, Iowa, which is way over on the western side of the state. And we're going to be giving everyone about 5 minutes to join before we get started here tonight. So again, welcome. We are super excited to have you here at the Better Ballot Iowa statewide meeting for September. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa, who is going to do our introduction to ranked choice voting. Lisa, take it away.
Thank you, Amy, and hello, everyone. Happy Thursday evening. Tonight, what I would like to do is tell you guys a story in 3 ballots. So a story in 3 ballots. So to start, I'd like you to imagine a hypothetical election between candidate A here and dun dun dun, the collapse of the United States. Who should I pick in this election? So this mock ballot might be familiar to some of you because it is the experience that many voters have at the ballot box these days. A choice between one party that they support or perhaps merely tolerate, and another party that is essentially unthinkable to them. So what's wrong with this? Well, one answer is that I really don't have a choice, right? One purpose of voting is to hold our elected officials accountable, but is candidate A really accountable to me? He knows I'm going to vote for him no matter what. Is the other candidate accountable to me? And of course not, because they know that I would never vote for them. So suppose things get even worse here, and candidate A is caught in some sort of scandal, right? So it's not enough to get them taken off the ballot, but it's still really unpleasant. So now who should I vote for? As you can see, I'm still a captive audience. This is a central problem of our non-competitive, gridlocked system. Right? Power is the ability to walk away, but most voters have no one to walk away to. If your vote is a given, the candidates don't have to earn it. But could there possibly be a candidate that will represent me and all of my interests? And the answer is yes. In fact, you've probably seen that candidate before. And let's see what happens to them in our current voting system. All right, I give you here ballot number 2. Imagine that, frustrated with candidate A's mediocrity and scandals, a new candidate decides to enter the race and run as an independent. She's someone you really like, someone you're excited about, but candidate A is the incumbent and a lot of people see him as the most likely to win. So what do? I'd like you to stew in this for just a moment. It's that feeling of knots that you get in your stomach whenever a third wheel enters a high-stakes election. In our current pick one voting system, these 2 candidates, candidate A and the new candidate you really like, are going to split the votes, giving the win to the end of the US as we know it. Whenever there are more than 2 candidates in a race, there is the possibility that someone opposed by the majority of voters is still going to win. Not because they're the best choice, but because their vote wasn't split. And people, this really stinks. We have a voting system where adding more and better choices can make the situation worse. So you want to vote for the candidate you really like, but dun dun dun, like the ghost of elections future, you hear the voice, you threw your vote away. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be like this. A small tweak to the ballot changes the story significantly. So enter ranked choice voting and ballot number 3. All right, in a ranked choice ballot, you get to rank as many candidates as you like in the order you prefer them. You get to vote for the candidate you want. So in this election, you would put your favorite choice as your number 1, and you would rank candidate A as your second choice, your backup choice. You don't even have to rank the last option if they're so intolerable to you. If your preferred choice gets eliminated because they had the fewest votes, your vote goes to your next choice. It stays in play. That means you can vote your conscience without handing the victory to the candidate you don't want. Also, think about what this means for politics beyond your own personal ballot. Ranked choice voting makes it possible for more than 2 candidates to enter the race without spoiling the election. That means voters can safely choose the collection of policies or candidates that represents them. Imagine only ever being stuck with 2 solutions to any given problem. This is where we are right now with our pick one voting system. By allowing the ballots to reflect our voters' true preferences, ranked choice voting opens elections to more competition and more ideas. In our current voting system, the candidate with the most votes wins, even if more voters prefer other candidates. In ranked choice voting, the counting process continues until one candidate has a majority of the in-play votes. This means that candidates need to reach out to a wider base of voters to win. If they have to compete for your vote, they'll more likely be caring about what it is that you have to say. Another benefit of ranked choice voting is that it makes campaigns more civil. Because when candidates need your second place vote, they want you to rank them as your second choice. They're not going to risk alienating you by attacking your first choice. So take a moment to think about an issue that is really important to you. No matter what issue you're thinking about, how we choose our leaders and who they answer to has a critical impact on our ability to make progress on that issue. If leaders benefit from polarizing and politicizing, if they get reelected, even if they are ineffectual, and if they aren't accountable to the majority of voters, we're going to get ineffective lawmakers. Reforms like ranked choice voting are important because they open the door to progress on all other issues. They address current underlying obstacles to progress. We could continue to fight harder and work more desperately to win in an increasingly contentious political environment, or we can take steps to make politics work better. We in Better Ballot Iowa invite you to join us in taking that critical first step forward. So thank you. And is Matt here?
I am.
Excellent. I would like to pass this off to Matt. And Matt, am I passing off the screen sharing as well?
So I'm here to tell you folks a little bit about our organization. We are Better Ballot Iowa, and we were formed fairly recently in March of 2021. We're Iowa founded and we're grassroots. And I will say we are an entirely volunteer-based organization with all of the wonderful things that comes with that and all of the challenges. We're nonpartisan and we're really just getting started. This is the beginning of what we hope to be a very exciting campaign. Now, what are we? Well, we just, as of a few weeks ago, got our final approval as a 501c3 that makes us a nonprofit organization. And you might be surprised since we are operating in the political space, but our mission right now is more educational, and that's actually a strategic decision. A lot of folks try to put the cart before the horse when they're getting involved politically. Let's go, let's ruffle some feathers, let's jump in and try to change the minds of lawmakers. But in a lot of ways, that can be a premature way of thinking. Let me ask you folks a question. What do you see as the biggest obstacle to our getting ranked choice voting adopted here in Iowa? I'll give you a second to think about or comment. A lot of folks, I'm sure, see this as a situation where, well, the lawmakers, the entrenched powers are going to be against us. And that certainly is true. But right now, our biggest number one obstacle is 99 out of 100 Iowans don't know what ranked choice voting is. And so the model we operate under as an organization is right now, our goal is to build growth and capacity. We are pushing for nothing less than a sea change in Iowa in how people see this issue. When we get to a certain size scale, hopefully in the next couple years, then we will have the power that we need to push for a legal enactment campaign. Because here in Iowa, we don't have the ability to do a ballot initiative. We're going to actually have to pressure legislators. So this capacity growth campaign starts with 3 legs. The first one is people. We need lots of supporters. We need money, and we need endorsements. And our entire strategy right now is focused on building those 3 pillars of our movement. Now, we've done a really great job so far. In just 6 months, we've grown our supporter base to nearly 600 people. We have done outreach live throughout the state, something like 10 or 11 different events. We've given talks, we've written presentations, we have built this legal infrastructure. And so we've got this wonderful movement and machinery ready to go and ready to attack. Now, this is where we're at right now, but what we really see this as is the beginning of an exponential growth curve. And this may seem pie in the sky, but I know for a fact that it's not, because I know that there are other states that have adopted ranked choice voting, and those states have done exactly what I have pictured here. They've gone from 600 people to 60,000 people. And we can do that too, and that is what we need you and your help for. So right now, our growth cycle has largely consisted of live outreach events where we go out, we talk to our fellow Iowans, we get them excited, and we get their names on our mailing list. That's followed by data management. We put it in our database, phone banking to get them at events and to get them trained and excited and plugged into our volunteering, and then the cycle repeats. Now, that is an important part of what we are doing, but I will say that now that we've been doing this for about 6 months and the weather is going to get colder and there are going to be fewer live events, we are also bringing in a lot of other stuff. We're going to be going out and giving talks to organizations. We're going to be building more connections with leaders throughout the state, because we are going to need hundreds and hundreds of statewide leaders from every county in Iowa to sign on to this if we want to be able to pressure our legislators. So the final question is, how can you become this voting reform superhero? As Lisa mentioned, this is an issue that really is at the center of all other issues, because if we can fix who we elect and how we incentivize them, then we can get any other issues to actually make progress. And so it's a very high impact issue, but I would also say that our organization is an exciting organization to be a part of, because we are in this free growth phase. I mean, because nobody knows about us and we're the only organization doing this, we've got nowhere to go but up. But we do need your help. Like I said, we're all volunteer. And so we're all working on that little bit of our free time. And we also understand and respect that you are as well. But we've got lots of opportunities. Those opportunities range from small tasks like, hey, can you make some graphics for us, to big tasks like, can you go out and canvass or phone bank, regular things and infrequent things. And if you're more of a behind the scenes person, we have lots of infrastructure and tech type activities that we need lots of help with. So I invite you to join us in the breakout rooms, because you'll have an opportunity to find out ways that you can get involved. And like I said, we're all busy, so we know that give and take, that ebb and flow of your availability, and we're happy to work with you and see how you can help move this issue forward in a way that is comfortable for you. And yeah, that is our organization. Oh, one last thing to say, sorry. We're part of a national movement. It's not a formal membership, but there are lots of other states that are going through this right now, and they have a playbook. So I highly recommend reading that playbook. It's very interesting, and it kind of outlines the strategy that we're taking. And now we made it to the questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt, for that. And thanks, Lisa, for the good overview of ranked choice voting. Like Matt mentioned, we do have a chance for some questions right now. Our first question, Duro has put in the chat. And our first question is, what percentage of people are we targeting to reach? And while Matt prepares to answer that, anyone else, if you have a question, if you just want to drop it in chat or raise your virtual hand, or raise your physical hand, like wave, and we'll see you that way. We'll take questions that way. But Matt, do you want to take Darrow's question?
Yeah, and I'm going to give a bit of a political answer, which is that we don't have an exact number yet. I will say that we are looking at other similar movements, and one of the rules of thumb that people say is that something between 2 to 3% of the population is what you need to get a movement to the tipping point. And if you talk on that scale, I mean, we're certainly talking tens of thousands of people that we want to get on board. And some fraction of those we want to get so on board that they're willing to call their legislator. As we start to go out and talk to community leaders and we gain more experience and a better lay of the land, we're hoping to refine that. And I'm hoping even maybe within the year, we'll really nail down some sort of exact target for what we want to define as our phase 1 success.
Awesome. Thanks, Darrow. I see you giving Matt the thumbs up, so hopefully that's answered your question. Our next question is from Rick, and Rick is asking us to spell out our Iowa leadership team.
Could Rick maybe explain a little bit more what he means by spell out, like name people, or does he mean kind of describe our organizational structure? Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if there's anybody else who wants to speak on this, they're welcome to. I'll say that we operate on a series of teams. We have an executive team that manages our like overarching leadership and strategy. We have a speakers bureau and an endorsements team. Right now, they're merged. And their goal is to build talks and schedule speakers to go around throughout the state. We've got what's become called OOD, which is our outreach and data management. And that cycle that I showed you of the call parties and such, that's managed by the OOD crew. And it's kind of a loose federation of three teams, data management, live outreach, and the phone banking. And we're working on optimizing that leadership structure as we kind of evolve and focus our mission. But those are some of the big. Oh yeah, and then behind the scenes, of course, we have our communications. We've got our website and technology team. We've got our social media and online outreach, and our arts and media team. And those are some of the back end that are kind of helping build the picture that we're trying to present to the world.
And if I could jump in, we have a board of directors, 6 people. I'm on it. Matthew's on it. Amy Brown's on it. Dwight Schum is on it. Genevieve is on it, and Justin is on it. We're all just regular people who care about this issue. That's it.
And all from Iowa, I would add.
Yes, we all live in Iowa. We're all Iowans. Some of us have been longer.
Friends just across the border, but no further than like the other side of the border.
But all the board members are in Iowa.
That is correct. Rick.
And we have 4 officers. Matt Wetstein is the president. Dwight Schum is secretary. Amy Brown is treasurer, and Genevieve is vice president, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and we're all volunteers trying to cross all the T's and dot all the I's and bring about positive change to Iowa.
Rick, did that answer your question? Yeah, we're a very diverse group that met each other during the 2020 presidential campaign, and we're all passionate about this topic. So from very diverse political backgrounds, very diverse parts of the state.
Some of us only just met in person recently for the first time.
That's very true. We've been working remotely for a long time. Awesome. Are there any more questions? Well, thank you for those questions. Those were super great. If there are no more questions, we are going to break into 2 smaller groups where we can just have a chance to get to know each other better. So if you're new to Better Ballot Iowa tonight, you can just stay where you are, and you'll be in this main meeting room, and you'll be hosted by Matt and Genevieve from our onboarding team. And if you're an active volunteer, we're going to move over to breakout room number 1, the only breakout number room. So I think that'll pop up, but if you want to If you know how and you want to rename yourself with a 1 in front, we can put you in that room, or just jot 1 in front. We'll get you assigned over to the breakout room if you've been with us before, so, or you can assign yourself. All right, guys, I hate to catch you off, but welcome back. For those of you that still have questions, we will stay on after the formal part of the meeting to get those answered for you. But to be cognizant of everybody's time, we are running just a few minutes behind. I'm going to hand it off to our leader of our onboarding team, Genevieve Johnson.
Right, I promise this will be short. I only have 1 slide, but it's an important one. So we have a new portion of our monthly meeting. We're doing a new volunteer or supporter spotlight because bringing ranked choice voting to Iowa is going to take a lot of work, and we want to make sure that we're recognizing those who are really going above and beyond to help us fulfill our mission here. So our very first supporter spotlight goes to Justin Hollenrake. I know Justin is here tonight. He's been with us since almost the very beginning, and his enthusiasm has always just been amazing for getting out and talking to people. So he has canvassed at more events than anyone else in the group so far. And just this last week, he organized a table at Iowa State University and signed up more than 50 supporters. And through that, we learned that the students' favorite little munchkin donut flavor was glazed. So that was kind of fun. He has really stepped up. It wasn't just enough for him to help, go to events and canvass himself, but he's now leading our live outreach team, and we're very appreciative of that. And he's also coordinating with Matt Wetstein to found a club for ranked choice voting at Iowa State University. So thank you, Justin, for all of your work. And so with that, I'm actually going to turn it over to Justin so we can hear about some upcoming events that are going to be going on.
Thank you very much. We are going to be having one canvassing event at the Cedar Rapids Farmers Market from 10 to 11:30. And then the next week, we're going to be having 2 canvassing events on the 25th, one around midday in the Ames Farmers Market, 10 a.m. to noon. And then we'll have another one, Cedar Rapids, the Market After Dark, supposed to be a big event, but that'll be later at night, 7 to 9, if that would be work better for people's schedules. Also, just before that, on the 24th, we're going to have another social, another one of our monthly socials. So no Better Ballot Iowa related things happening there. It's just come and hang out and relax for an hour or so. So if you're interested in that and just hanging out, please come to that. And also, you would like to help us contact the people that we sign up at these events, you can do that on Mondays or Tuesdays. We have call parties that we do from 6 to 7. There'll be other people with that that'll help guide you through the process. And if that time frame doesn't work for you, or if you'd like to do things by yourself, just contact me or Genevieve, and we'll set you up. Like it says there, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. on those days either. And also, if you're interested in canvassing, but none of these events worked for you, please do let me know, and I am fully willing to work with everyone one-on-one to find an event and a time that works for you and get you the supplies that you need so that you can go out and do that. And we would be very appreciative of that. And also, if you're aware of good volunteering, of good canvassing opportunities, even if you're not able to attend those yourself, please do feel free to send those my way. That would also be very helpful. And for all the RSVPing for these things, you can just go to the calendar tab on a website, as you can see there from the link right there. And canvassing ideas, like it says right there, just send a quick email to volunteers@betterballottiowa.org.
Awesome. So many great ways to get involved. And if you haven't done live outreach, there's pitch training, and as he mentioned, there's also supplies that we provide you with as well. So lots of great opportunities. Thanks for that, Justin, and congratulations on being our first Spotlight volunteer. We really appreciate everything you're doing. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Brandon, who is accountable and helpful in leading our fundraising efforts. Brandon?
Accountable, you flatter me. Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon, our lovely video editor. He has requested that we do not say and stutter as much because it makes it hard to edit out. It is not working, you can tell. I run the fundraising side of things. So for every time that I say I'm having Amy keep track of this. I will donate an extra $1 tonight. But this is where it gets important, guys. We, as stated before, need people, money, and some third thing I can't remember off the top of my head in order to make this work. With that being said, money is important. We don't want you to donate tens of thousands of dollars. You can, but you probably have better life choices to make. But if you've got $1, $5, $10 a month that you can spare, if they can drop the donation link, our Square link, it is super easy to donate, guys. All you got to do is type in your credit card information, drop a blood, it's right there, easy to do. But what we need to do is basically just keep those funds coming in so we can run ads, we can get more supporters, more volunteers that are basically going to keep these meetings going, keep them fun, keep them interactive. We want to steadily grow. As you saw on the graphs before, we want to basically consistently grow. We've been doing that so far, but the funds help that significantly. Whether it's us buying donuts so Justin can go out and canvas and get 50 signups in a day, what a savage, or whether it is us just running a Facebook ad to see if we are targeting the right people to get more volunteers and more supporters to come to these meetings. Every single little bit helps, and any time that you can, we just heavily encourage it. If you can make a one-time donation, $5, $10, amazing. If you can make a recurring donation of $5 or $10 a month, I promise I don't look at my bank account that much, and I have probably missed it multiple times, but if you can as well, please make that decision. What is the phrase, a cup of coffee, a day? No, you're like one Starbucks a month. My tall sweet cream vanilla cold brew, one of those a month, guys. That's all it takes, $5. And with that, I appreciate all the support. If you haven't signed in, please do. And then I'll give it to Amy to close it out.
Awesome, thank you. As the organization's treasurer, I can attest that the money is well spent. We also have lots of technology running in the background to help us keep organized as well. So we appreciate all of your donations because it really fuels the mission that we have to educate Iowans about ranked choice voting. And it's not possible, unfortunately, without financial support. Brandon, I didn't count a ton. Yeah, exactly. I think exactly Genevieve's got it right. Is that 1 million ums? I think that's all I heard. Oh, Matt's honestly going to give you 1. I think, yeah, comes your 5th mortgage. Awesome. So anyway, thank you for all of you who've been able to donate. It makes a difference. We do meet monthly, and we always meet on the 3rd Thursday at 8 p.m. So in October, that will be October 21st. They will drop the link in chat so you can sign up right now and get that Zoom link on your calendar so that you don't forget, because I often realize at the last minute I've forgotten, and we would love to see you there. The last thing before you go, we would love your feedback. We have a really short, I think 3-4 question survey. It won't take long. We'll drop that in chat as well. We'd love to get your feedback. These meetings are for you, and we'd like to know if we're meeting the mark or missing the mark so that we can adapt them in order to meet your needs better. And as we close, again, I just want to say thank you for taking your time, taking time out of your busy schedules to attend. A grassroots movement requires commitment, energy, and support of a great many citizens. So please know we appreciate your time, your energy, your commitment, and of course your money. And if you'd like to stay on this call, if you didn't get your questions answered, or you just want to chat and hang out with us because we're super cool and you want to know where you can pick up your superhero cape, please do so. But otherwise, the official formal part of the meeting is now closed. Again, thank you and see you next month. Good night.